You make money when you buy, you make money in how you buy. Now, the problem that I've seen in the market that is that homeowners needed a way to get out of their financial crisis of foreclosure with a fresh start. Over 25% of homeowners are facing foreclosure on a daily basis. Now, our team would make investment inquiries to the homeowners that would engage them with a simple solution and an exit plan. Majority of the time, the homeowners wait until they are put out of their homes before trying to make a move because they ain't got no money. If they did, they'd pay their mortgage. Their mortgage wouldn't be behind. The average cost to move nowadays typically about $10,000 to $15,000. And if they lost their job, lost income or whatnot, then that's gonna make it difficult for them to move. But fortunately, it improves investment opportunities for us because the homeowners, they just want a simple way, a reliable way, something that's easy to understand and simple to do to get out of the situation. Our solution will give the homeowners the information they need to make an informed financial decision on selling their home. Trinational Investment Group will purchase the home at a discount before the foreclosure sale date. That's our target goal. That way, the homeowners avoid foreclosure, save their credit, and their ability to purchase a home at a later date. Seller receives funds from the deal at the closing that will allow them to move out and acquire a new place to live. Our project is specifically designed and dedicated to investment properties that are distressed. Our team will have to beat the foreclosure by closing on the property before the foreclosure sale. We actually have a closing attorney. We have a closing attorney that can close within 15 days. We'll start with homes in the metro Atlanta area and move to other cities and counties throughout Georgia. This design will, with the idea in mind to help homeowners with capitalizing on their investment opportunities. Now, simple and effective strategy. We want to offer a quick close for homeowners as well as a return on investment for investors. Now, with the market being the way that it is, our projections used to be about 90 to 120 days. I'm looking at about 120 to 160 days now to be transparent because of what's going on in the market. However, we have heard through the pipeline, through the grapevine, so to speak, that the market is about to change. The interest rate's about to change, especially after this election. After this election, business is over, the market is going to change, interest rates are going to change, and we're going to see more buyers in the market killing the game. But what we don't want to see is investors taking over like they did back in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013 is when I really start seeing it really, really heavy. A lot of times people like to wait until something like that go on, but it makes it more challenging, more difficult when you have more competition out there. So you want to try to jump on it as soon as possible. Like for instance, that was around about the time where the hedge funds came in and they bought up everything under $100,000. Then they turned around and bought up everything under $200,000. Now they buying up everything under $300,000. And it's in Gwinnett, you could barely find anything for less than $350,000. And I know in some other areas you could barely find anything for less than 300. So with that being said, you want to make sure that you jump on this as quick as possible, but that 120 to 160 days is still less than 6 months, and it includes the rehab time and sale time. Now, our competitors in this deal are the financial institutions, believe it or not, because Gregory and I both saw firsthand how um, the financial institutions sold properties directly to the hedge funds. Directly to the hedge funds. We saw the whole back end. You know what I'm saying? We saw it in Salesforce coming down. They hadn't even foreclosed on the property yet, but they already had it in their pipeline said coming soon. Because they already knew who they was gonna sell it to, who they was gonna flip it to. Wholesalers, they go out there and they try to take the property and assign it to other cash buyers, make them a piece out of it. They're in competition with us too. And then you have your real estate agents. They go out and they try to help people and everything, and that's noble because I'm a realtor too. But at the same time, a lot of times you don't have time to sell before the foreclosure date, and you don't necessarily know that they need to sell until the foreclosure comes, but you got to go out there and market and see. So if we can beat all of them, we can make a good deal. Also, most of the time, if you offer a product like what we have, I think it would be more enticing than what some of those other individuals are asking. I do know that the wholesalers are offering more money now than what they used to. They used to come in and offer like $5,000 or something like that, and people used to go for it. But now you have more savvy sellers that are selling for, they're asking for more money. Our business model is simple. We purchase, renovate, and we either sell it or rent it. There is approximately 300,000 homes in pre-foreclosure right now. This is going on every month. I get a foreclosure list. This month, there was over 500 homes on that list. If you add it up, the amount of money that they owe, it's typically, it usually adds up to around 200 to 300 million dollars. And all we're trying to do is get a piece of that. We're trying to get a piece of that. So we try to partner with investors and build a portfolio of at least $2 million a month while addressing the foreclosure issue in the market. Right now, we don't have very many competitors, okay? But I am seeing in the investment pool that they're coming out. More and more investors are getting involved. And mind you, I've been doing this presentation since February, January, something like that this year. So um, with the market slowly changing and people getting wind of it and things of that nature, I'm seeing more and more people out there. So again, you don't want to wait until the market is saturated before you try to do something. You want to try to jump on it as soon as possible. Now, with very few competitors right now, you could potentially make over 20 million a year with what I'm about to show you. So let's get to it. How we gonna do this? We gonna do it with some cash. Ooh. All right, this is one of my first examples right here. This property right here, it says it has a resale value of over $429,000. The opening bid on this property was $99,000. The rental estimate on it was $2,700. Now, let's take a deeper dive into this one. With me having a foreclosure list, I know what they owed on it. They owed 123, right? So with them owing 123, if we offer them 10,000 cash for keys and then turn around and have roughly about 5,000 in closing costs, total acquisition would be 138,000. Well, if you go back and look a little bit further, if you look at that roof right there, you see it looks like it needs some repairs. It's discolored in a lot of different ways. The home looked like it's kind of needs a little TLC. So with that being said, I guesstimated renovations cost to be roughly about 100K. They might not be that high, but you want to kind of estimate a little bit high so you could expect the unexpected. Okay. With that being said, total project cost for this one is estimated at 230,000. Now let's look over on the other side. The resale value is 429K. If you back out the project cost, the resale commissions is about roughly about 25,000. Your net profit is 165,000. Now, can we say go get the money?
Go get the money. Go get the money.
All right. Here's another one in Snellville, right? This one looks like it's in pretty good shape. So the opening bid for this one was 165. It's a 5.5, pretty decent sized house. It didn't have a rental estimate, but I know how to get that, so I ain't worried about that. Now, if you take a look at it, their mortgage amount they owe that they was in foreclosure for was $234,000. Now, same process. You offer them some cash for keys so they can go ahead on and move out, and you estimate your closing costs in there. Total acquisition is $249,000. Now, this one you just go put a little love in it. You ain't got to do that much to it because look like it's in pretty good shape. So if you do throw some paint on it, do some landscaping, change the carpet out if they have carpet, do some flooring, whatnot. Total project cost for this one is estimated to be around $299. Resale value is $497. If you back out the project cost and the resale commissions, net profit on this one is $168,000. Okay. Now that's two examples. Let me show you one more. Douglasville, all over Atlanta. This is not something that, just privy to Gwinnett County. So I did some all over. Now, with that being said, this one right here, if you look at the roof, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. The house is nice. Looks like it could use a little pressure washing, things of that nature, but overall it looks like it's in good shape. It just looked like it had been raining over there before they took them pictures. Now, estimated resale value on this one is $556 with a rental estimate of $3,600. All right. Now, again, the mortgage amount on this one was $290. That's how much they owe. Give them a little money to move out. Give them some closing costs. Total for acquisitions $305. Put a little renovation in there, a little paint, some appliances, some flooring, all that kind of stuff. Total project cost would be $355. Resale value $556. Back out the project costs and the resale commissions, and the net profit on that one $167. And I see this all day, every day. Now, that's just for the first three. All right. So total acquisition cost for all three would be $647,000. Cash for keys $30, closing cost $15, renovation cost estimated to be around $200K, real estate commissions $89,000 for a total project expense of $981,100. Now, total resale value on all of those is actually $1,482,000. Total project expenses, when you back them out, is $981,000 for a total net profit of over $500,000.
And that's on just three flips. Flipping is a great business. And just to give everybody a update, I just got the financial hit that the interest rate has just dropped down to the lowest since October of 2023. It is now 6.2%. So it has started. They said it was going to happen in September. The rates are coming down.
Mm-hmm. Now, if they don't want to sell it, I mean, think about it. You losing your home. Some people will talk to you, some people won't. But at the end of the day, they got to face the issue. Their home is in foreclosure. Sometimes they could file bankruptcy and they could stall the process or potentially save their home. But a lot of them actually go through the process. And if they don't sell it to us, we just get it at auction. But now you got pre-foreclosures, auctions, and REOs. What's the difference? Let's talk about it. So pre-foreclosures you could potentially get a property for less with less competition from the market because you're talking directly to the homeowner before it goes to market, right? Or before it goes into the foreclosure sale. Now, if you actually go to the auction, you have a little competition. Like I said, I seen I'm watching the market and I'm seeing the competition getting a little thicker out there. Okay, it was pretty scarce. A lot of those homes that I've seen and that I've just shown you and stuff like that, they went straight through the market and became bank owned because they become bank owned when nobody buys them. Now I'm seeing them getting bought up. So that means that people are getting wind of this. They seeing what's going on in the market. They are starting to go out there and purchase, right? So the bank REOs is when it don't sell at the foreclosure auction. So you didn't get it at pre-sale, you didn't get it at the foreclosure auction. Now you got the REOs. The difference with the REOs is this. The price typically goes up when it becomes a REO because now you got additional bank expenses and you got additional competition. And now, in a lot of cases, what I'm seeing, you also got an agent involved because what ends up happening is the bank chooses an agent or the close or the foreclosure attorney or whatever. They choose an agent and then they turn around and they put it on the market. I've been seeing it on the market for retail, and I'm like, wait a minute, they did no repairs. They're still raggedy, but you got it on the market for retail. So the key is to try to get it before it goes to REO. Now, you can still get some good deals at REO, but again, you have more competition dealing with it once they get to that point. So you want to try to get it before you get to that point. All right. But you still got to pay cash for it. Now, when you go to a foreclosure sale, funds are required to be paid in the form of cash or a cashier's check. Personal checks, business checks, letters of credit, and credit cards are not accepted, right? However, a lot of things that a lot of people don't know is that they do have lenders out there. And I got a lending partner that can help buy foreclosure properties if you buy online at the online auction, right? See, that tidbit, I don't hardly put that out there because that'll cause more frenzy. But that's all. It's all good though. All properties are not gonna be flip ready. They're not gonna have enough cash equity infused into them to where there'll be a feasible or viable deal to flip. You end up losing money if you try to flip them. So a better option might be keep it as a rental. You know, sometimes if you keep it as a rental, it would be better. I mean, like if you've seen some of those properties, they're nice, they look good, don't need that much work to them. It's like, should I get that one or should I not get that one? Sometimes it's a good idea to go ahead on and get, especially if it's a nice house, nice neighborhood, things of that nature. You can keep it as a rental. You don't have to flip it. Now, according to the top rental sites, the average 3 and 4 bedroom homes are now renting for around $2,000 to $2,500 a month. In some areas, you can actually get $3,500 to $4,000 a month. Okay. Now, this is one example. If you look at this house right here, it needs a little work. But let me show you how this rental game gonna go down. This property right here, they currently owe, when it went up for foreclosure, they owed $232,000 on it. If you go in and you get them to sell it for $233,000. Now, mind you, when it goes to auction, sometimes they start lower, but with me knowing, I'm sorry, what they actually owe on the property because I got that background information, you can actually where to kind of pause when it comes down to, because the bank gonna want their money. So as long as you buy for whatever they owe on it, probably a little bit more to cover their fees and things of that nature, you can get a pretty good deal. So if we go and let's say we actually get it from the homeowner for 233, right? Rehab costs plus closing costs gonna run you about 55,000, right? All in cost 288. With this one right here, 4 bedroom, 3 bath rental, going for like $2,800 a month, right? Now, mind you, You might have paid cash or whatnot to go in and get it, but you could turn around and refi that one and pull about 75 to 80% cash out and get your money back, get most of your money back anyway. Now, mind you, if you refi cash out, your note won't be for like $1,800 a month. You still getting rent for $2,800 a month. So you got a net monthly profit of at least $1,000 on that property. Now, can we say, go get the money? Go get the money. All right. Now, example number 2, same scenario. This one right here, it needs a little work though, because I'm looking at this, I'm looking at the cracks in the driveway, and I'm looking at the garage. I don't know what in the world they did to that garage, but okay, we're gonna have to replace that. And probably a few other things in the house, but let's look at it. So we go in and we get it for 133. Rehab and closing costs be 52,000. All in 185. Over there in that neighborhood, rent amounts around $2,500. Refi cash out, you'll know to be about $1,200 with a net monthly profit of about $1,300. Now, can we say, go get the money, go get the money? Now, imagine if you had about 20 of these. Okay. Now let's take a look at what that'll look like. So let's just say, for the sake of round numbers, your average portfolio was around 200,000 per house, right? We do that times 20 homes. Now you got a portfolio of worth $4 million. The average rents nowadays is around $2,500. If you look at that times 20 houses, your gross portfolio rent is about $50,000 a month. Now you take that gross portfolio rent and you back out what you would refi for, because what you want to do is, once you get to that point, you want to refi and make it all one payment, so you don't have 20 different mortgage payments at a higher interest rate, because of the fact that you probably had to get hard money or whatever, or if you cashed out or whatever, depending on what the rate was at that particular time, because rates are still kind of up if we're doing it now. So, but on a portfolio like this, I calculated it at roughly about $2,400 a month. And if you have a property management company, which you would definitely need one with all those properties, would be 10% would be about $5,000 a month. But your net income from your portfolio would be 21,000 per month. Now, that's over $20,000 a month in passive income. Passive income. You don't have to do nothing but go get the money. Oh, oh, oh.
And that's in addition to the cash that you got back from the refi. So you got cash back
So
plus
yeah.
20,000 on
So
21,000.
you don't already got your cash. You don't already pull your cash out, and you don't refi it and got your note combined and everything. So now you just straight cash flowing, just straight cash flowing. And because you did the renovations in advance, you're not gonna have a whole bunch of work orders eating out your other money. And that's the key. I talked to a young lady, as a matter of fact, just 2 days ago. One of my friends, I talked to her, hadn't seen her in a long time. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna talk to a financial planner about what I want to do with my money and this, to the third. Cause she came into a little piece of change and everything. And I was like, now mind you, she got a real estate license. And she says, oh, well, my financial planner told me that, everybody that he works with that got rental property, oh, it was a nightmare. I said, because they don't know what they're doing. That's why they need to they need to hire me. They need to hire somebody to know what they're doing. Because if you go out there and try to do it yourself, you try to be a slumlord, you're not doing any renovations on the properties, you're going to have a lot of renovation costs. You're going to have a lot of work orders and things of that nature coming in. So you want to take care of that out the gate and then hold your tenants accountable. Once you do that, you won't have that many callbacks, no issues and things of that nature. And don't discriminate. Because sometimes people think that just because people of a certain, like for instance, if they were Section 8, what we call housing choice vouchers, if they got those, some people think, oh, they're going to tear up my house. That was the rumor back in the day. Actually, that's guaranteed money. That's guaranteed money, and they get inspections on a consistent basis. So at the end of the day, you probably be safer, because if somebody gonna tap your house, they're gonna tap your house regardless. Trust me, I've been there, done that, seen it already. We ran into a girl was not on Section 8. Less than 6 months, we had totally renovated that house, and she tore it the heck up. Had trash all in the house and everything, because she didn't have her utilities on right. All her utilities went on. She didn't have the gas. She didn't have trash service, nothing. So they're gonna tap your house. They're gonna tap your house regardless. If anything, you want somebody to come out there inspecting on a consistent basis to make sure that they don't tap your house. This right here, what we're looking at right now is a recent spreadsheet of portfolio of pre-foreclosures in Gwinnett County. I started working on this for a potential investor who, of course, was not serious. But if you look at the key up there, the ones in yellow has pretty good equity. The ones that are in red don't have pretty much hardly any equity. The ones in blue are on the market. And the other ones, one of them, it was a bad lead, and the other one was I called them and they was like, no, we ain't selling. Hung up, all that kind of stuff. But that's okay, because that's what we get in the market. I mean, it is what it is. So if you look over here to the right, you'll see what the mortgage amount was on the property as it went into foreclosure. And then you calculate the foreclosure fees, going a little bit down. Say, for instance, we gave them a little piece of change, sold the property, for them to, if we actually purchased the property for them from them and gave them a little piece of change, that's what the sales price category is. Now, if you look at the resales, you still making money. Look at the yield spread on those. If you look at the yield spread right over here, that first one, you still can come out with you still can come out with 115,000. The second one, you can still make almost 150. Let's go on down the line. This one right here, oh my goodness, this was a real good one right here. When I looked up the resale value on this one and did the estimate, man, you can make almost 300,000 off of this one, right? So it's some pretty good deals out there. Looking at it like this and going this route. But this was just in Gwinnett County. Just imagine if you're doing different areas like DeKalb County, the South Side, like South Fulton, things of that nature. It's a lot of different things, a lot of different opportunities out there that you can tap into. That's just one example right there. This rental portfolio, if you can get at least 5 properties, we can refi and we can get you up to 80% LTV, loan to value. Now, that in most cases, you'll get roughly about 75%, but we can get you up to 8%, 80%. The more money you get out, the higher the interest rate is going to be. Well, let me just say, if you decide to go no recourse. No recourse, if something happens to it, your entity won't be I guess sued. They might try to go after you, but they might not. Minimum loan amount is 500K. You got to have a minimum credit score of at least 650. Needs to be in an LLC or INC or LLP or whatever you decide to put it in. For investment properties only, not primary residences. It could be single family, PUDs, townhomes, condos, anywhere from 2 to 4 units. And tax returns are not required for this. We can also manage your rental portfolio if you decide to do rentals. Because at First Choice Property Management, we can manage your assets to ensure that you get the maximum return on your investment that you are looking for. Me personally, I have been managing rental portfolios for over 10 years. Gregory, my husband, he's been managing single family and multifamily assets for over 30 years. Combined, we have over 40 years of experience and managed over 12,000 units. And everything that we have touched have turned to gold. We have a property management system already in place to take online payments, do tenant screenings, handle emergency maintenance, and tenant debt collections. We also give out property management financial statements. The statements are a quick way to understand how your rent money is being spent or applied. And there's 4 general categories of areas in which monies are applied. Your management fees. Again, average management fees are actually about 10%, right? And the question is, a lot of people, they're like, oh, 10%, I don't want to pay that. But would you rather, if you was getting $5,000 a month, would you rather pay somebody else 10% of that to handle everything? Or would you rather be the one waking up in the middle of the night, going over there on a pipe bus, dealing with going to court because somebody didn't pay their rent and having to deal with the eviction or something like that? Would you rather be the one dealing with all the tenant issues that come with managing a property? Or would you rather hire somebody and give them that little 10% and be done with it? If I didn't have the skills, I'd hire somebody. But because I have the skills, I teach people what needs to be done. Maintenance expenses. If you go in and do the renovations up front, as we stated before, you would have little to no maintenance expenses, especially coming out the gate. It'll be all profit. Why? Because you took care of everything. So there's no need for, busted pipes and running over toilets and HVACs that's not working, because we already took care of all that. Any other expenses would be something like eviction services. Like, for instance, most of the time when you screen people and you do it the right way, you don't have a lot of evictions and turnover, but stuff happens. So if it does, you want to make sure that your eviction services are taken care of, and anything left over would be the owner draw, which majority of the time is the estimated amount of money that we talked about. Like, say, for instance, if you have $10,000 a month coming in from rental properties, you take out your 10% and the rest of it is coming in to you as an owner draw. Period. Every month. Because why? Because you took care of all the maintenance up front and you don't have no expenses. Now, some of y'all already know a little bit about our background and our experience. But here's a little bit about our experience.
Have you ever been like in the middle of a home renovation project and just thought to yourself, this is nothing like I saw on HGTV? Well, today we're talking to some professionals that can handle any real estate project that you might have, the folks at First Choice Real Estate Professionals. Guys, these are the cutest couple in the world. They do need their own reality show. Can't wait for you to hear their story on this episode of On the Road. Let's check it out. For more than 20 years, First Choice Real Estate Professionals in Lawrenceville, Georgia, has been providing their clients with outstanding real estate services. As you walk up the sidewalk of their fully restored and renovated office space, you get the feeling you're someplace special.
You're literally walking those streets of gold when you step into First Choice Real Estate Professional office. So this floor here, when you step into it, the floors are golden imported marble with some special grout. This is 24 karat gold dusted grout. Wow. With these floors, the most expensive grout that you can purchase.
Wow. It's gorgeous.
So you're literally walking on the streets of gold.
Alyssa and Greg Allen make up the dynamic duo that is the First Choice brand. When these two real estate powerhouses first met, it didn't take them long to realize that they were better together.
Well, I was studying to get my real estate instructor's license.
And I was doing property management and residential remodeling. So the two of us, I met her, I saw this beautiful young lady in this real estate class, and I had a vision. I says, she's as smart as she is pretty. And the combination of our skills combined, her with her real estate brokerage background and education background, me with my 15 years of property management and remodeling probably over $25 million worth of renovation of my career at that particular time. We combined and created 4 companies. I call it the 4-headed monster. The First Choice Renovation, First Choice Property Management, First Choice Property Management Services, and of course, First Choice Real Estate Professionals.
First Choice has a real estate solution for everyone. If you need help in buying and selling, they do that. Need a firm to help you manage a property stress-free, renting, leasing, and taking care of the maintenance? First Choice does that. First Choice Renovations handles remodels and rehabs. And First Choice also offers real estate education, available for folks wanting to get into the business for themselves. As a matter of fact, the top floor of the First Choice building is designed for education, to keep students informed on finance trends and all the how-tos. With so many different facets to the business, I had to ask, what was the most exciting part of this business? Where does all this energy come from?
Well, my most exciting part of this job is meeting new people, always starting new projects, because I'm nonstop. I always just feel the need. My philosophy is grow or die.
I vibe off of his energy. He is what keeps me going every day. I can have a bad day or just feel like, oh, I really need some rest, but he's a fireball and his energy just keeps me going.
You almost have to be a fireball or just really love strong coffee if you want to make it in real estate today. I was amazed at the sheer number of ongoing projects that this couple handles on a day-to-day basis, from management all the way to complete restorations.
One of the things and stuff that we do for customers is to change their way of mediocre thinking into excellence. So in order by doing that, it's just a matter of just showing people that there's potential in everything. I like to say that we make ugly things pretty.
New appliances, new cabinets, new flooring, everything.
Restoration, from our perspective, would be, it starts with, what's your motivation? Where's your heart at? What's your intention? What you're looking to accomplish with what you're trying to restore? And let that lead you to what the outcome really should be.
When you choose First Choice Real Estate Professionals, your home can start out looking like this, but transform into
There's no question that this duo has a passion for what they do and the talent to back it up, going the extra step to present luxury and comfort that is affordable and accessible for every kind of customer. It's that calling and passion that makes First Choice, well, the first choice.
My passion for life, what I do, and being able to share with people the number one thing that I feel that everyone should have a chance at in life is to own real estate, because that's the foundation for something tangible that you can pass through generations.
and that energy comes before he has his first cup of coffee, believe it or not.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. What an amazing transformation, right?
So you see, we got the experience, right? Now, the investment opportunity is we are seeking at least 5 investors that would like to invest in this opportunity and learn how to do this. New and inexperienced investors would need at least 5 flips or a combination of flips and rentals to get funded with a decent rate. I'm in the industry and I see it all day, every day. I see people, they'll call us or whatnot, and they'll say, hey, I'm trying to do this flip or whatever. Trust and believe, they will hit you over the head with the rate if they accept you at all. A lot of times they'll say, oh, they don't have enough experience, and they'll just turn you down. And then some of them, they'll actually do it, but they'll hit you over the head with a rate. I've seen as high as like 15% interest rate for somebody who we'll do it, but we're going to do it at this rate, you know. So they'll hit you over the head with the rate and won't give you nothing about 60%, as opposed to actually giving you. And I've seen people that had experience like at least 5 flips and rentals, and they got like 92% LTV and a decent rate. So in order, people go out there, they think, oh, well, I don't need them, I could do it myself. But if you partner with us and utilize our experience that we have already, you'll get the better rate you'll get the better rate and the higher LTV. But we also have coaching and consulting packages as well available. Each investor will have an opportunity to form an LLP with us. That's a limited liability partnership. And Trinational Investment Group would be the general or managing partner, and the financial investor would be the limited partner. And the reason being is because a lot of the people out there that are trying to be investors, trying to get into the investment game, they have other jobs. So you need somebody managing the projects. You need somebody going out to the site, going out to the properties and things of that nature, and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not taking your money and doing what they want to do with it. All the investors are required to complete an investor profile application along with their personal financial statements for consideration for an investor partnership, right? And they're gonna want to see that when time to refi the properties and things of that nature, they want to see all of that kind of stuff. You must complete a confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement as part of the approval process and provide background screenings. Well, I think everybody on this call, we pretty much know y'all, so we don't need all that. But, for when we were doing it for people that we did know, we was requiring all that. So as manager partner, we will find a deal, we will vet the deal, and we will work the deal. Now, at times, we may ask for your input as a limited partner, but it is not required. However, if you want to learn how to do this, we welcome you to come out with us, come to the properties, come to, pick out materials and things of that nature. We welcome that. We're not saying that you can't participate, but we know that oftentimes the investors have other things going on. So to make sure that we take care of what needs to be taken care of, we would take the lead in the process. But make sure that we run all the projects by the financial investor and get approval and make sure that we're all on the same page. Net proceeds from each sale will be distributed equally between the limited partner and the general partner upon completion of the sale. So not only will you get the money back once the property is sold, not only will you get the money back that you invested into the property, but the proceeds from the net sale as well, the actual the proceeds from when we actually, once the profits is what I want to say, the profits. So once we get the profits back, less what was paid, because that does not belong to a pool or the managing partner. That belongs to the actual investor partner. So the investor partner will get that money back plus half of the proceeds from the sale of the property. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. Got a text message through a blank. So in summary, we can bring you the deals, we can structure the deals, we can actually finance the deals, and we can manage the deals. So that's what we're saying. We are a one-stop shop. We can you could pretty much do everything with us, through us, and make sure, because we're going to make sure that they perform so we can all get paid. While you sit back and collect the check. Let me ask you this. Who ready to go make this money? Who ready to go make this money?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Man, I got a group of Asian investors. This guy was buying houses back in the day, paying 400,000 cash for these properties. And whoo, he has had his last group of houses that he's has, I've had tenants in there collecting money steadily for the last 5 years for him. And we only get about 2 to 3 work orders a year at best on the properties because he followed my lead. We renovated the houses up to the standard when we moved in. We qualified the people and we collect the rent every single month. He get his check and I make sure, and when you put us on the job, especially me, the enforcer, I inspect the properties, I collect the money, and make sure that it's being ran like it's our own. Rock and roll.
All right.
All right. So who ready to get out here and make that 10 million? That's the number that keeps floating around in my head.
Go get the money, go get the money, go get the money, go get the money,
I got to get that money, girl.
I said, I see you, auntie.
That's
Go
what
get
they
the money.
Okay.
Go get the money.
All I'm
Go
saying,
get the
man,
money.
rock
Go
and
get.
roll.
Oh. Let's go get this money, y'all.
All right, all right.
I do have a question though.
Yes, sir.
So what about, so do you have that for land as well?
I've
Or is
never
it just
flipped
for
land,
houses?
but I do have products for land where you can actually buy and build on land. But again, they ain't gonna want to give you they're not gonna want to give you a good deal or finance you if you don't have a partner that
Mhm.
knows what they're doing or if you got some experience. That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah. And the thing about land does not have the exponential profit yield on it like having a property that has real estate sitting on it and has the ability, because with the land and stuff of that nature, the only rent that you can get off of land is if you do a 50-year land lease deal to like a church,
But
bank.
I think he's talking about like trying to go and build something with the land.
Okay.
Are you
So
talking about building something with the land?
Yeah, because I was just wondering, it's like, okay, I see all these analytics for houses you got all around Georgia, right? So it's like, can you do the same thing with land, or it's because, like you said, it doesn't have anything on it yet? So it's like, a project, but still,
So
it's kind of the
we
same thing.
we have loans for ground up construction, but you need an experienced builder to partner with.
Mm.
Because if you don't have any experience, they're not going to fund you. So you definitely have to find you an experienced builder that's willing to partner with you on that. I have a client right now. I'm still trying to find a lender for because he has experience, has a good credit score. He taken over a building. It's 12 units, multifamily. He has his own construction company. But because of his lack of because he's gonna gut the entire building and start over, nothing's gonna be left but the outside structure and the bones. He's gonna gut the entire building and start over, right? They were saying because he doesn't have the experience in doing ground up construction, it's been difficult to find somebody to fund him. However, there is somebody out there that will. I just had to dig back into my pool of lenders and find somebody that could do the deal. But yeah, that is difficult if you don't have experience and or a builder with that kind of experience.
Yep. And the thing with ground up construction, that's more what you call the long-term play game, and you're working on a draw type basis. Because think about it, you got to purchase the land, you got to build on it, and you're not going to get paid on the deal until everything's completed. And you got to find, and your final end game is to have the property sold. You got a purchaser at the end. And depending on the size and the magnitude of the project, that's typically anywhere from 12 to 15 months in most cases, especially now with permits and the draw process and all that type of stuff. So for quick hidden investments, there's 120. And with these, as these interest rates go down, and what's been my experience in